Mama, what you make?
You are now tuned into the DFPN, the Dat Feelin Podcast Network.
Salute Podcast. You always in the service of me. Salute Podcast. You always in the service of me. Salute. Salute Podcast. Hey, what's up? What they do? Welcome to another episode of the Salute Podcast. I'm your boy, retired Chief Master Sergeant Pat Wilcox, aka the Hip Hop Chief, aka Country Rhyme of the group Purgatory. The Salute Podcast is always in the service of dreamers, and we showcase the talents of all current and prior military members in the elements of hip hop. So if you can rap, also dress fresh, and you serve the country, then the salute is for you. So, all right, though. This is my last podcast of the year, and so with that, man, I want to do it big, man, and bring back some friends and some folk, you know what I mean, and just bring them back and chop it up, do something a little different than I usually do. You know, I bring a guest on and we talk about different topics and things, and then I go through, ask them questions, whatever. This ain't what this about. So this a little deeper this time around, but I'm gonna get into it a little bit more about it after these sponsors, but I really want, you know what I'm saying, y'all to pay attention because we got some serious hip hop heads on here, and I'm excited to have them on board, man. And so stand by, and we gonna go ahead on. We gonna rock it. Hold up. Wait a minute. One more.
Yo.
More to the mix.
What up?
One more to the mix.
What up, fam?
So yeah, it's about to go. It's my man Smitty. It's about to go down. Another hip hop head. So I'm surrounded by hip hop heads. So this should be a really good debate. I'm really gonna be excited about this debate, man. So it's about to go down. So without further ado, let me go through all of these sponsors. Let me hit them up. You know what I mean, and talk about them real quick, and then we'll get to the proceedings. All right. One second. I always forget it, but I got it because I got to talk about it. All right. So first up, we're going to talk about Plugs Earbud at www.gettheplugs.com. Enter the code DFPN10 for a 10% discount. Audio Swim, www.audioswim.com. And Permit Element UAE. Permit Element at www.permitelement.com. That's my man Shorty Pimp, one time, Dade County all day. You know how we do. All right. Next up is Patreon, www.patreon.com/Dat Feelin Podcast. For $2, you go on there and check us out. You get all these proceedings and all these podcasts without no advertising. My man Black won't be coming in and jumping in, saying whatever he say. Won't be none of that going on. Hold up, let me see who jumped out of here. There you go. And I got Black in here. Oh, Black cat, there go Black. So I got Mark in here. I got Black. Okay, everybody on here. So okay, we rolling in. Who all are missing? Let me make sure. Hold up 1 second. Let me make sure I got everybody.
Hey, Smitty.
What up, MRK?
My guy.
Okay, got everybody. All right. Let me finish up these things to get to all of these sponsors. So that was Patreon. Now we're gonna go to the merch at Teespring at www.teesprings.com and search for Dat Feelin Podcast. Yeah, what you gonna get. I always forget to grab this stuff, but I got it tonight. We get the merch. There's the merch. It's the merch on the back. There it is right there. So you see what it is. Got your cups, Go get the different things you want to go in there and scan. You know, all the different podcasts got their own merch on there, good stuff. So now we can roll, and I can get to this, you know what I'm saying, into the proceeds like I want to, and make this happen. All right, let me take that off there. Bump. All right, so I always tell a story before I start my podcast. You know what I mean? I'm gonna introduce everybody. I got a bunch of folk on here today. So a couple weeks ago, the last podcast we did, podcast number 13, we had a debate. And so, you know, it was a pretty good debate. We had some good conversation. My man Solo couldn't stick around. He had to get out. It was just me and my man Tuck. But in the beginning, the first thing we was talking about, and we're gonna talk about it again, was my man Black Thought, right? So, you know, my man MRKSX hit me up out the blue. We just started talking about some stuff. And the thing, you know, we turned, you know, we was talking, and it turned into almost an hour conversation almost, just about the you know what I'm saying, the Black Thought. I said, you know what we need to do? We need to bring everybody back and have it discussion. Then I called my man Solo, and I told him, I was like, yo, we just had a 1 hour conversation. He proceeded to have another 1 hour conversation about Black Thought. I said, oh, dang, we definitely got to bring this back. We got to get this, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had their own thoughts and their own ideas about what was said. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I need to bring this back. So that's what sparked this here to happen. And for us to roll like we finna roll tonight, man. That we usually don't do, we're gonna do it tonight. Because I got a bunch of hip hop heads here tonight. And I want to make sure that everybody in here, private chat, what is that? I can't hear now. I cannot hear anything. It's lagging. PJ, you can't hear?
I can hear.
Okay, good.
I can hear.
All right, bet. So I think Black still, he went out, he's coming back. But anyway, that was the deal, man. I said, okay, we need to make this happen. So then I thought about all the hip hop heads that I knew, and I'm gonna invite them all. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tell them about Smitty, and I didn't tell them about my son PJ. My son PJ, he's at the bottom down there. They hip hop heads too. So we got my man E. Smitty. What's up, E. Smitty?
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up?
Yo, my man Black, but he jumped out here for a minute. But I'm sure Black gonna be back. We got my man MRKSX.
What up, though?
My man Op Solo.
Yes, sir.
What up?
Yes, sir.
What
and
up,
my man
bro?
Chuck.
What's good?
And hold up, and my son, like I said, my son at the bottom, P. Jizzles. So yeah, so you know, I think it's gonna be a good conversation. I know it's gonna be good. As a matter of fact, I told these kids I got about 20 questions, but I doubt if I'm gonna get through all 20 questions. You know what I mean? Without a little spark or some stuff. So I'm gonna throw the question out there. I'm gonna start with the first question. I'm gonna throw the question out there. I'll let y'all roll with it. Everybody just be fair and let the other one talk. And y'all kind of, you know what I mean? If not, we got a bunch of yelling at each other. So
am I the only one dragging?
Huh? Say what? What you say?
Well, I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay,
Somebody said they lagging.
that was PJ said. You okay, PJ?
I think that was MRK. He went out.
You good?
Yeah, MRK said was he the only one lagging?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I thought.
think so. Let me bring him back in.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah,
I
I hear
good.
you.
Okay, cool.
I hear you the best, actually.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
PJ, can
That's
you
a
hear me,
surprise.
I don't know if my son he looking, so I don't know if he can hear me or can't hear me. I guess he'll let me know and maybe pop back out and pop back in if he can't. But anyway, let me try. I'm gonna start it off. So, like I said, I want everybody to have an opportunity to jump in here and say what they want to say, right? But just not talking over each other, man, because I know it might get a little heated. So just give everybody the opportunity to come in and say what they're gonna say. We just, you know what I'm saying, we'll keep it rolling like that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right then. First question up. I'm gonna start off where I left off, and we'll start this debate. Start it right here. Do you think Black Thought is underrated as an artist? Why or why not? So I'm gonna do it like this. All right, Mark. All right, MRK, I'm gonna let you start it off. Since you was you know what I'm saying, we started this debate like that. I'm gonna let you start it off. Hold up. Somebody popped out. Make sure
He
everybody
froze.
in.
He popped out.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was
Can y'all hear me?
All right, let me bring it back in.
Hey, man.
I'm bringing it back in now.
All right, cool. Yeah, if I jump,
in here?
if I jump out, it's because it started dragging. I'm back, though. I heard you say you gonna start it out with the question. I ain't hear the question though.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let you go first. Since you the one that kind of started out, I'm gonna let you go first, and I'm gonna let everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let everybody else go after that. But you know, I asked the question. My question is this: do you think Black Thought is underrated as an artist? Why or why not?
Do I think Black Thought is underrated as an artist?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, 100% not. Black Thought is not. It's not underrated at all. As a matter of fact, when they was passing around all them top 50 lists, I think he was one of the only people besides Rakim that was on every last one I saw. I think everybody. I think every artist that's worth his weight have all given Black Thought his flowers. He's a Grammy Award winner. He's one of the only rappers to ever have a freestyle go viral. Nah, man, he's pretty highly rated. I think he's up there. He's in some pretty rare air. In fact, not many people enjoy the level of props he receives across the board in hip hop. Pretty much anybody that says they love hip hop also love Black Thought. So I definitely wouldn't have him on the list as being underrated. I might have a different definition of underrated. You know what I mean? But if we just simply talking people's thoughts about Black Thought, I can't think of a legendary MC that doesn't have a high regard for him. You know, but that's me.
All right. Raise your hand if you want to go next. All right. Hey, Chuck.
So I kind of agree with him. So I'm gonna say both. He's under and not rated. So he's, from what Mark said, that's correct as far as within the realm of MCs. I think he gets his flowers. He does. People fear him, but I think when you come to the true mainstream of the main artists, they leave him out. You know what I mean? They'll say Nas, Jay, but for whatever reason, they leave out Black. The MCs don't underrate him. The MCs don't. That's why I agree with him. The MCs give him his flowers. I think the regular folk, when they say they kind of forget about him. But again, that's come from my perspective, and as a stan, everyone knows I'm a Black Thought stan. So that's the way I see it. But I see what Mark said as far as from the MCs. I think the MCs definitely give him his roses, but I think as far as the other cats, the casual hip hop listener, they kind of forget about it. I mean, that's just my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna save mine for last, but okay, Smitty raised his hand. Smitty raised his hand first.
All right. You wanna go, Matt?
You got it. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna say this right here, and I swear it ain't about no brown nosing, but it's funny. Like this is a great question to me. And in the past, I probably would have said that, oh man, yeah, he's underrated, but because I've been around MRK for a long ass time, and like I say, and I say that respectfully, he actually, I have my own mind, but a lot of things he says, it just makes sense to me. Black Thought, you know, when you talk about a person that's underrated and this and that, like every person in this room, Op Solo, I don't know if my man Chuck Rhymes, Black Mac, MRK, Conscious Rhyme, we're underrated severely, when it comes, because I know of the skill level that we have, but like from being around Mark, that it made me think like, oh shit, I ain't never thought about that. Black Thought has been around the world 1 billion times, and it's living very, very, very well because of his skill. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, nah, he's not underrated at all. But I get it from the perspective, like Chuck was saying. When you talk about MCs, they're gonna say certain names, but when it comes down to the core of it, a Black Thought, most MCs who are at the top of the game will not want to see Black Thought in a cipher. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to see that because that dude is impeccable. You know what I'm saying? So as far as being an MC and doing anything, he's not underrated because he's living a life that most of us will want to live. But as far as people talking about him, they don't talk about him that the way we feel that they should talk about him. But dude is all right. Dude doing good. He's doing real good. You know what I'm saying? And that's my 33 cents.
All right, Matt, you up next.
All right. So, my answer is going to be unequivocally no. He is not underrated. I think as far as MRK laid it out, as far as his accolades and everything, he's got that. He's got respect from his industry peers. I think what the bigger question is Black Thought underappreciated? Because that answer would be a yes. By the hip hop community as a whole, yes, he's underappreciated. Is he underrated? No, because if you listen to Black Thought, if you're a real hip hop head, even if you're not a real hip hop head, if you listen to Black Thought, you're gonna get some out of his music. You're gonna take some bars away from it. There's something for you to break down. A real hardcore hip hop fan. He's impeccable. His delivery is on point. Bars, setup, schemes. He does it all. And then has the balls enough to do it all on Jimmy Fallon. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Nobody else is really doing it like that. You know what I mean? So I think he's not underrated as an MC. I think he's very unappreciated for what he brings to the table to hip hop, the whole, just that one person. Like, bro, the guy changed a lot about rap because, especially being from Philly, you from Philly, like the only people, and this is me growing up in Louisiana, the only person I knew from Philly that rapped before Black Thought was Will Smith. You know what I mean? So once I got put on the Black Thought, like it changed everything. Like the guy influenced the culture. So I don't think he's underrated at all. I think it's very much underappreciated. And that's my 2 cents.
I'm Solo.
What I think?
Yeah.
Well, can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna answer that. First, I'm gonna answer that in his words. Quote, the young son, underrated, underappreciated, the one you underachievers had underestimated, finally graduated from something the most hated, the one of the most sacred, nobody can't take it, face it. Hell yes, he's underrated. Yes, unequivocally, he's underrated. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Now, I think with the exception of PJ, all of us here is over 40, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and PJ dropped out, man. His signal was bad.
Okay, so all of us have seen. I'm gonna use this analogy to bring it home. All of us have seen Michael Jordan play basketball, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All of us. Now, imagine a world where people were saying Michael Jordan was good, but he's in the top 15. What would you say to that? If someone told you that he's in the top 15, as a versus saying he's in the top 3 or number 1 or 2, what would you think? Would you think that he would be overrated or underrated based on what you saw him do? What would you think? You would say that he's underrated. Now, let's bring it to Black Thought. Prior to that freestyle he did 2017, December 13th, I remember specifically because it was a day after my birthday when I saw it. Prior to that date, days prior to that, we was watching stuff like a hip hop so Vlad telling Lord Jamar that he was basically they're saying that he was like this, like right there, right? Now, the community, y'all was right when y'all said the MCs, the people that write, they know what's up. But when I say underrated, I'm talking about the hip hop community. The hip hop community, when they was naming their top 5s, you would hear names like Biggie, who, by the way, only have 2 albums prior to 97 before he died. You hit Biggie, you hit Tupac, you hit Nas, you hit Jay-Z, you might hear Rakim, right? You never heard Black Thought. You never heard him. People are saying Black Thought now after that freestyle. But let's do some history lesson. Now, that was 2017. Prior to that, Black Thought been professionally doing music since 1993. 1993. So when you start doing the math, that's what, 24 years? It took 24 years for the hip hop community to say he's top 5. But everybody was saying, everybody now, they'll say Biggie. They'll say Biggie. They'll say Biggie. They'll say Tupac. They would never say Black Thought prior to that freestyle on Funk Master Flex. Now, MCs know Black Thought was able to do that a long time ago. We knew that. We knew that. You know what I mean? So now that, 24 years later, people start heralding him when they should have been doing it 15 years prior, like they was doing Jay-Z and Nas. Yes, he's very much underrated. If it took the hip hop community, if it took him to do 300 bars on Funk Master Flex for the world, the hip hop community as a whole, not the MCs, as a whole, for him to say he's top 5, yes, he's underrated. Yes.
I'm gonna jump in there real quick. And you make a great point. One of my good friends who's from the West Coast, from Compton, he said like 12 years ago he was naming his favorite MCs, and he named Black Thought. He named Black Thought like 12 years ago. 12 years ago, he named him, and in that he said like Jizza is my favorite MC from the Wu-Tang, and he said that, and then he said Black Thought. Now I knew Black Thought was dope. He was nice, but after he said that, it opened my mind. Like, okay, damn, like, yo, I feel you on that. Now that was like 12, 13 years ago. You make a great point when you say about, when you talk about big, I think society and the powers that be will say that, Nas, Jay-Z, Rakim, blah, 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 blah. But Black Thought was an afterthought in so many ways, because he wasn't promoted in the way of that we know as MCs, right? As MCs, we know, and I'm gonna be honest. I knew he was nice, but then my man said, "Yo, that's one of my top guys." And I'm like, okay, yeah, he nice. And then I was like, "Oh shit!" Then I really listened. I think with Black Thought, Black Thought is like really supreme in a lot of ways, but the powers that be didn't set it up that way. But who are we to be like the powers that be determine anything? I think it's a personal thing to say like, yo, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think Black Thought is on the top of many lists, but those lists are not pushed to the forefront on a personal level. He's on a top tier. You know what I'm saying? He's on the top tier with me. You know.
Let me say
Let me get
this.
in on this one, brother. Let me
Oh,
get in on this.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Because understand, I just want to share a few things with you kings. And you know, my man's knew me. And just to give you my perspective on the history of this. Way back, and T and Pat know, I'm gonna tell you, 1996. It's 2021, right? 21 now.
Yeah.
1996, and they can vouch for this. I was playing Philadelphia Half-Life, and that was after I heard the Do You Want More record. And I was telling these cats at that time, this dude is the greatest MC ever. I said that then. People could vouch for that. I know I'm a stan or whatever, but I was saying that because I was like, I want you to listen to Hypnotic. I want you to listen to these records, what they do, and you can form your own opinion, but this guy is on another level, and he's not going to get the praise because he doesn't have the... My man said it perfectly. You know, the lists that come out aren't the right list per se. And, you know, I was saying this back then. I mean, I love Nas, I love Biggie, I love, you know, all the same rappers, Jay and everybody. But I was saying back then, the rhyme schemes this dude was using in 96 was crazy.
Yeah.
If you listen to Philadelphia Half-Life, listen to that joint. Like you said, your man said 12 years ago. I was saying this shit 25 years ago. I'm like, dude, this dude's a monster. And then when I heard Things Fall Apart, I was like, how can anyone touch that? Just to be done by
I got a question.
Undone. What up?
I got a question. In terms of top artists, period, including Tariq Trotter, I want you to picture your top 5 MCs and tell me of the top 5, besides Black Thought, who was in a group in which their name wasn't in the group name.
That hurts. Because me, I'm a little different, brother. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a little.
No, I'm asking out of ignorance. I'm saying out of your top 5 MCs, your top 5 underrated MCs, besides Black Thought, who else is in the group where their name is not part of the group name?
Oh.
Part of the group name?
Yeah, you know, because some people could say, "Oh, I love Eric."
Okay.
His name is, you know what I'm saying? What artists that are considered to be the greatest MCs of all time, that like show me another one that's in a group in which their name is not part of the group name, is what I'm saying.
No, I think I know where you're going with this, because it's really, you can say others, but you can tell their name.
Their name is in the group, right?
Yeah,
the name is in the group name. So what I'm saying is that this cat, that could be one, but I'm saying, are any of them in your top 5? I'm saying, are there members of the Wu-Tang that you feel like are criminally underrated and that are in your top? You know what I mean? So on and so forth.
Maybe Jizzle, but that's me. Maybe Jizzle.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I didn't already know the answer to that. I was asking like.
I'm gonna say this like Jizza is my favorite MC from the Wu, but I don't feel that he's underrated because I have a different mindset when it comes to like somebody being underrated now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the same way, but yeah, Jizza is definitely that dude to me, you know.
Okay, bet. Op is back. You got one Op?
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but the last thing I heard was Mark. I think he was finna ask a question. Then my phone just dropped out. I was like, let me hop back on here ASAP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was asking, out of your top 5 most underrated artists, forget even rappers, because I'm sure Tariq Trotter is still in that list too. Out of your top 5 artists, which of those, besides Tariq Trotter, is in a group in which his name is not part of the group name?
I have to really, in fairness, Mark, I never really thought about that. I have to really sit down and think about that.
Okay, because the guy because the person that we're talking about right now, like, you know, he never even pushed himself as a solo act until like the last 5-10 years. Like prior to like the last 5-10 years, it's been the Roots. And he was so good that we as a community reached inside of the group and said, he's our guy, and took him out of that group and said that he's not getting the respect he deserves when he wasn't even looking for it.
Hold on,
right?
I want to touch that when you're done, brother.
Okay, cool. And now as the front man for that, because that group has had some changes here and there, but he's always been the front man. But it's had some other pieces attached to it, this, that, and the third. They've only been giving out rap awards at the Grammys since 1989. The Grammys been around since like the 50s or the 60s. You know what I'm saying? 1989 was the first time that they gave out a rap award, and they gave that award to Young MC. All right. The next one was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Anyhow.
Oh, let me stop you right there. The first Grammys went to Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince.
I'm sorry. You're right. It did go to Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Like I said, it was 1989. Yeah. And so since then, the Roots have been nominated 5 times and won 2. Mm-hmm. So the person that we're talking about, the guy that raps inside of a group that's not appreciated by the masses, has 2 Grammy Awards for rapping.
Yeah, that's some shit.
He got 2 Grammy Awards for rapping. He doesn't do anything else in that group. He don't play instruments. He rap. He rap.
Hold on, brother.
He rap and sing.
Now
he rap and sing. If he do, I ain't never seen it. Maybe he do. But I'm saying.
Let me go back on that. Let me counter that. That's a great point. That's a great point. But I'm finna answer that. just so clearly. We all heard of the group Outkast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all heard Outkast. Like Outkast is a group, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now let me ask each and every one of y'all, who the best lyricist in Outkast?
Andre.
I would say Andre. Yeah. That ain't even a question. That's not a question.
Okay. You see what everybody said? I'm finna make my point.
Yeah.
You see what everybody said? It didn't matter. It didn't matter the group. It didn't matter because everybody know who the coldest is. You see what just did? It didn't matter that Outkast was in the group. Pretty much everybody, the hip hop community as a whole, generally speaking, acknowledged that Andre is light years ahead of Big Boy lyrically. Now, that's not saying Big Boy is no slouch. Big Boy is one of the coldest to do it. But Andre is so far ahead that we didn't need to be programmed. The masses did not need to be programmed to say who was the coldest of that. It's the same thing what happened with Black Thought. There have been many lyricists that was in the Roots. You had Malik B. You had your boy
Dice Raw.
Dice Wrong.
Yep.
You had, you know what I mean? You had various cats, but what I'm saying is this: whether he was in the group or not, it didn't matter. The hip hop community did not say that's the top MC. You know what the hip hop community says? The hip hop community says that Nas is a type MC. Nas dropped his first studio album 94. The hip hop community said Jay-Z. Jay-Z dropped his first studio album 96. Roos dropped their first studio album 93. Ironically, professionally, Black Thought has had more longevity than both of them, but nobody started recognizing him as a top tier. When I say top, I'm talking about top 5. Nobody. When I say nobody, I'm not saying exactly nobody. I'm saying the masses. If you could have spoke to somebody in 2016, a random hip hop head, and say, "Give me top 5," they more than been likely saying Jay-Z, Eminem, Nas, Rakim, Tupac, or Biggie. Nobody was saying Black Thought. So when I say underrated,
but he's never been promoted. He's never been promoted as a solo artist though. Like he's only been promoted as a solo artist in the last few years.
But Mark, neither was Andre 3000. People was putting Andre 3000.
But we're not. Yeah, but he's not. People don't think he's underrated. Like
what I'm saying,
you know what I mean?
Wait. Let me get out. Let me get out. Because you in that last sentence didn't even put Andre 3000 in the top 5, and he's in a group.
What I'm saying,
but nobody would do that with Andre 3000.
But Mark, Andre 3000 generally is recognized more than Black Thought. Andre 3000 didn't have to do a 300-bar freestyle in 2017, December 13th, for people to say he top tier. Nobody was
right, but he did put out a solo album. And he had a #1 hit off that solo album too.
And that was in 2004. And that was in 2004. People are still heralding him, even though he have not put out anything. People are still heralding him as a top tier lyricist.
I would say this.
He is.
I agree.
I think the Love Below is one of the greatest albums ever written, bro.
I want to say this real quick. When you talk about Andre 3000, Andre 3000 has released arguably more commercially successful albums that gave him more shine and more spotlight in the midst of releasing albums than the Roots have. You know what I'm saying? And Black Thought. Right. So that's gonna push him a little further. You know what I'm saying? Not taking nothing away from Black Thought, because I I love Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's released a lot more commercially successful albums that went across the board. You know what I'm saying?
Let me jump in on this one, Kings. Let me
say this. Give me 10 seconds. But Biggie Smalls ain't put out an album after his death. They've been putting this stuff out, but Biggie Smalls been dead since 1997. And people still put him in the top 5.
Man, look.
You got it.
That's not fair, man. You know how people do when people die, bro. That's not fair.
Let me
that ain't fair.
Big was ahead of his time.
You know people get exalted when they die, man.
Exactly. That's my whole point. Biggie's been exalted for 24 years, even after death.
Let me get in on this.
It took Black Thought to rhyme. It took Black Thought to master the art of circular breathing, which saxophonists do, and rhyme for 10 minutes straight for the masses to start putting them in the top 5.
Let me jump in on this, Kings. Excuse me, because I'm having a little Belvedere. But one of y'all made a very valid point about the Roots. And as far as commercialization of their music, which doesn't propel Black into that atmosphere because of the way Black portrays itself, which is true. Andre, on the other hand, regardless of he's done a lot of features that's kind of put him in the circle. For me, like I say, everybody knows I'm a stan. my whole point on Tariq is forget the features, forget everything. Take the body of work of what this brother has done, and it's been impeccable. And granted, he's not the only one. You got cats like Planet Asia, bless you, King. You got cats like Planet Asia, Jizza,
Yeah.
and other MCs of a high lyrical caliber who are not put onto that pedestal to where someone like Jay-Z, and I like Jay-Z as much as anyone else, who can come on and just breathe on a record, and all of a sudden this dude is the GOAT. You know, he can go and he literally does that. And you hear niggas going classic, and those are the type of things. And I'm not bullshitting.
Yep.
Those are the type of things that
all
people
facts.
like us who are embodied in the real, you know, who go deep in the crates, who listen to the Andre the Giants, the Planet Asias, these guys who don't come like yourselves, who's grinding and doing y'all thing, and not getting the love, and that's what drives the spirited conversations, because you can look at, like, my man worked with Crooked I. Crooked I is an incredible MC. Why is he below a 50 Cent? And 50 Cent makes trash.
Then can I say this real quick? I'm gonna say, and that's a great point. At the end of the day, I think everything comes down to a person's personal preference. Because my personal preference may be like, okay, everybody knows, like you say, you'll stand with Black Thought. I'm gonna stand with Nas, right? But at the same time, I would say, oh, that shit he did right there, oh, that was terrible, that's terrible. But I think everything comes back to a personal preference at the end of the day. But the powers that be and all that stuff, like my man Op is talking about, he's talking about, yeah, oh, this person is, you know, you're going to hear the same names, Rakim, Jay-Z, Nas, blah, 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 blah. You know, it always comes back to a personal preference, and what we are talking about right now is a money generator, because it's a lot of debate. It's a lot of debate about who's this, who's that. But at the end of the day, for me, I got my own preference of who I fuck with, and I'm gonna stand by that. But I appreciate the conversation, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, family.
Yeah, I think I understand. I think I understand where Op is coming from, though, man. Basically, people often have a top 3 or 5 that they talk about that seems very universal. Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, and Rakim, right? Like these are like the names you hear all of the time. And in the case of that conversation specifically, yes, he's often left out. Yes, this is true. If that's what's being said, then I agree. Yes, he is underrated and marginalized when it comes to general conversation. But I will tell you, if you go outside right now and find 10 random people, you will find more that will argue with you about whether or not Jay-Z is good than whether Tariq Trotter is good.
Absolutely.
I guarantee
100%.
you.
100%.
You see what I'm saying? Like you will find more people that will agree with you that he belongs in the top 10 than that Jay-Z belongs in the top 3.
Yo,
I would agree with that, Mark.
Can I make y'all all laugh at the same time? Can I do that? Can I do that?
Go ahead, brother.
Brother Conscious Rhyme said, I got 20 questions, and we still on the first one, yo.
I told y'all.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, though.
I told you. I said, I'm gonna come here. I ain't gonna get past 5.
He knew that because
It's beautiful, though.
He over there looking like one of Satan's angels in all red, rubbing his hands, ain't saying nothing. He ain't saying nothing over there. He's rubbing his hands together.
I don't know. I don't know if he a blood or a guardian angel with that motherfucker, man.
Look, you know what he remind me of? He like one of them school kids, the one that was like, baddest one tag my hand, and up there, and he just sitting over there like this. Like, had everybody started up.
Yeah.
Hey, but hold on, fam.
Are you gang banging over there?
Hey, I saw Smitty text me today. I was like, Smitty. He's like, man, we need all of them. I say, dog, we ain't getting all of them.
Hey,
you ain't never gonna get
the truth, bro. He tell the truth.
He knew when you put me and Op together talking about Black Thought, you ain't going past question 1.
You might get the 4.
It's beautiful though.
You might
get the 4.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. He's like 20. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna pick some of the best ones off of here, and that's the one we gonna talk about. Because ain't no way we're gonna get the chick.
Well, you know what? Look.
The fact that you can be so good.
What you say, Mark?
Is he freezing up?
Yeah, he freezing up.
Man, the fact that you can be so good at rapping that you got people debating shit like this about you.
Yeah, that's
is
say a lot.
If you write raps, this is the top of the top, bro. Like,
bro.
You hope someday people will debate some shit you said in a private debate somewhere on Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is the true definition of the top of the top, bro. Like that shit right there is crazy. We done all took time out of our holidays with our family to do this.
Look, Mark.
Hey, I gotta throw something crazy out there.
Hold on, wait a minute. Mark, when I was on the phone with you, I got off the phone with you and I called him. This is what happened. I was like, you know what? Y'all need to hear each other. Y'all need to have this debate amongst each other.
Yeah.
And he started having me. I'm not the one that said
it. Hey, we ain't even going nowhere, but I gotta throw some gasoline on this. Somebody's from Louisiana, right?
That's a
Black Mac.
There you go.
This better not be a Lil Wayne question, because the answer is no.
No, sir. Don't do your man like that. Don't do your man like that. Another very obscure MC from New Orleans. He goes by the name
Jay
of
Electricity.
Jay. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, bro, no. Exhibit C, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Jay Electricity, man.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole. Where you trying to go with this, Chuck? Because his last album was pretty bad. It belonged to Jay.
But look, Chuck, check this out. And I feel, Mark, you put the thumbs down, right? Right? Okay. Hold up. Okay. This is where, for me, it goes back to personal preference. You can have a cat that had one song that touched you so much. Like, yo, that's my guy. But people get into full bodies of work. Does it have to always be full bodies of work? It's on the listener what they want to do. No, it doesn't. It can be a song that you fuck with.
No. Can I answer that?
Hey, man. Hey, Smitty, know I love him. Hey, look.
I know you gonna say that bullshit. Hey, yo, before you get started, you was the same dude when Nas released that album with Kanye. Man, sometimes people just need to hang it up. They need to hang, man, come on, man. Nas killing that shit. You said that, right?
You know what Nas did? Nas proved me wrong. And you know what I'm waiting on?
Nas did what he do.
He did. And you know what I'm waiting on Jay Electronica to do? Prove me wrong.
Come on,
I'm still waiting.
Come on now, Mark. Mark.
I gotta start this.
Mark, stop it, man. Stop it, man. Take the do-rag off, man. Goddamn.
I'm doing that
I'm with Mark on that one. I'm waiting for him to prove me wrong. I waited for this album. Waiting for the album to come out. Listen to the album. I'm like, what is this? Jay-Z album. This whole album is Jay-Z.
The dude can spit. The weirdest shit.
I've been wanting to get it out for a while. Thank you, Mark.
Nah, bro. He was Jay was cool until he got with Erykah Badu, bro. He got with Erykah Badu and the game changed, bro.
Man,
hold on.
Andre stayed nice though.
No. Hey, hold on. I got to give some more Louisiana because I got to do it to you. With Jay Electricity, I don't know if y'all heard the latest joint. Spitter. I don't know what y'all think of Spitter, but I like Spitter.
Okay.
Jay
like
Electricity.
You ain't saying nothing but a word. I like Spitter too.
He put a joint on Spitter's joint. The one that just came out Christmas Eve.
Talking about Currency?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Spitter.
Currency?
I call him Spitter. Yes, sir.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Currency's that guy, bro. Yeah.
The thumb came back up.
Currency is that dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, since you're getting everybody from Louisiana, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you thought the first time you walked past the BX. And I know you was in the BX when you saw this, and you saw Devin the Dude out. When you walked past, he was sitting on the toilet. Did you walk past, or did you get it?
He's from Houston, so I love, he's from Texas. So I
I'm
rock
just saying, the first time you get, because I got it, I was in Panama. I got it, I read it through the whole, everybody in Panama. But I almost walked past it because he was on the toilet. I was like, man, this got to be God.
Taking
I'm
the
just going
boo
to take my chances.
Somebody said talking about criminally underrated.
Devin the Dude, yeah.
That dude is underrated.
No, Devin the Dude is unbelievable.
That too.
Oh, what you talking about?
I'm telling you.
Early Devin.
I think it always goes back to personal preference. I love Devin the Dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't get too much into he's underrated.
Yeah.
I used to until Mark, man. I'm telling you, MRK.
Hey,
MRK, man, like real talk. And I'm not trying to put it on him, but it helped me. I used to be, oh man, this joke don't get no shine. And Mark was like, man, these motherfuckers toured the whole fucking year. Why?
Hey, hold up.
I mean,
as I take a sip of my drink, hold up, Smitty.
I gotta get some more Belvedere, boys.
Here go my
I'll be
next
right back.
question.
Yeah, save me some, bro. Save me some, bro.
I got you.
Here go the next question right here. You know what I'm saying? It's for you. So, since my man Jay-Z came out, he like to jump on Twitter, jump off of Twitter. He jumped on Twitter and he said, "Can't nobody get me in the verses." He said, "Nobody can't get me in the verses."
Who said that?
Jay-Z said that, and then Nas dropped the album the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know who you think. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who go? So I can say the same thing for Busta, because everybody's scared of Busta, but Jay-Z the one just said it. He like, nobody can't see me. And then Nas dropped the album. So who can see Jay-Z in the verses?
Hey, let me tell y'all something real quick. Let me tell y'all real quick. If LL jumps in the verses with Jay-Z, he washes Jay.
No, sir.
I don't know about that one, buddy.
No, sir.
Yes.
I feel you.
Who said no, sir? Chuck said no.
Yes.
Telling you.
No.
The early years.
If LL jumps in the verses with Jay,
Mhm.
No.
bad
No.
things are going to happen.
No.
No. Sadly, no.
I'm let me get in on this, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm not a Jay-Z stan by no stretch. I probably criticize that dude more than everybody. I'm telling you, I think he's the most overrated rapper next to Eminem. However, Jay-Z in the verses will wash anyone. Reason why? He has the hits. The verses is a hits thing, and no one's messing with that dude.
Well, hold up now. You say that though.
Like
hold
that.
up though. Hold up. You say the hits, but hold up now. My man Jadakiss just proved everybody wrong on that.
Yeah.
Well, Dipset ain't got no hits. They trash anyway, but that's for another conversation.
I think
I'm gonna make everybody mad with that.
I think a lot of people thought that Dipset's style of music was gonna take over the set, and then an MC showed up that night.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is just Charles Cook. Cameron might be the worst rapper ever. That dude I hear that dude.
I fuck
Judy
with Cameron.
This is what I'm telling you.
Cameron about the worst rapper. I'm with you.
He's trash.
Follow me here. This is what I'm telling you.
Cameron is nice, man. I'm telling you, man.
No, sir.
Personal preference, man. Personal
I feel you, family. I respect.
I don't know, my man.
I don't rock with
Hey,
that.
man, I can see some blinks, but it's a personal preference.
So you say you did not.
I respect that.
Huh?
I'll bring it back around. You say Jay-Z will take out Nas.
Let me say this.
Personally, I think with Nas and Jay-Z, I will listen.
Nah, don't back off of that shit, E.
No. You're right.
Don't back off of
You're
it.
right, Black. You're right, Black.
You said it.
Now,
Personal preference.
me personally, I feel that Nas has, way more than I love, but it's still a personal preference. You know,
talk your Nas shit, E. Smitty. You deserve it, bro. He looked out for you this year, bro. You talk your shit, bro.
There you go.
He looked out for you this year, bro.
Rapid Forte.
I love Nas 100 times more than Jay-Z. The whole thing with
Come on,
Jay-Z.
yeah,
when you
exactly.
talk about the verses. The verses. We ain't talking about a real battle.
I feel you.
Verses.
Yeah,
Bro.
Type thing.
Bro, versus is now a concert. It's now you have to put on a show in a versus.
Mark, man. Hey, Mark, man. Hey, Mark. I had you in my wheel, man. I'm taking your ass out tonight, bro.
Hey, hold up. I've got something. Go ahead.
I would say this, Chuck. You partially right. The verses is about hit, but
real talk.
But what happened at that last verse is like what Pat was talking about with Jadakiss. Jadakiss showed something. Yes. And you know what Jadakiss showed? Jadakiss showed that it's not only about hits, it's about live performances.
MC.
So with that, with that being said, Jay-Z is amongst the top, but I probably can tell you somebody because of that live performance thing that would probably take the crowd over. The guy we talking about, Black Thought, yes. He would take the crowd over. Busta Rhymes, yes. He would take the crowd over. I don't like this guy, but objectively, he's top tier. Eminem, he would take the crowd over. Drake, yes. Drake would take the crowd over. So it's just not about hits. If you say hits, Chuck, then arguably it's Jay-Z, because I think Jay-Z, Drake, and Eminem, they got the most hits. But this last verses, Jadakiss showed that people still want to hear some MCing. They want to see some live performing.
Jay-Z would not beat Kanye in the verses. You understand me? Kanye would kick Jay-Z ass in the verses.
Possibly.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Possibly.
I agree with that.
I can see it.
I agree with that. Kanye has a plethora of hits, and also Kanye has that stage performance. He has that thing. He could take over a crowd.
Oh no, bro. I just seen him in this one bit, the one concert just with the man with him and Drake, and I wasn't impressed by that. But hey, maybe.
Look, man. Look, you. This is where I agree with Smitty when he said preference, but it's like this for me. When it comes to my top MCs, I have my preferences, who I like. My favorite MC of all time is Rakim, right?
Yeah.
Rock.
Mine too.
All time. Rakim is the guy who got me started, Ryan. All time. However, when I start making my GOAT list, I have to think about things objective. I have to think longevity. Rakim don't have that. I have to think about freestyling ability off the top.
Okay.
I have to think about Grammys. I have to think about breath control, live performance ability, total albums, classic albums, decent to good albums, songwriting ability, cipher ability, album sold. We have to, when you start taking the GOAT, you have to think about all these things, because if you just putting together a list of your favorites, then when you talking about GOAT, your list is just your favorites. It's really not going to hold weight. It's the same thing in basketball, right? The same thing in basketball. When people talk about the greatest in basketball, everybody got their favorites. But I was watching this one thing, and they said when they start looking at objective things, when they start taking in scoring titles, defensive players of the year, first team offense, first team defense, finals MVP, league MVP, rookie of the year, total chips, longevity, years of dominance. When you put that list together, then you start narrowing out a Mount Rushmore of people that can be on that list. For us to make a GOAT, we have to do the same thing. We can have our favorites all day. Like Jay-Z is not my favorite.
Yeah.
But when I'm making a GOAT list, when I'm thinking about all them, guess what? He's on the top. Eminem. I don't like Eminem. I think he's corny. However, when you take all those things in consideration, album sold, songwriting ability, albums, total albums, longevity, when you start taking them things, he's up there. Yeah. He's up there. And that starts to weed out. That start to weed out people like Biggie Smalls. Because Biggie Smalls was in the game living professionally for 3 years. But people got them on their top tier list. They got them as the greatest of all time, which is fine. But I'm saying if he's the greatest of all time, he was only for 3 years. What about Jay-Z, who's been in the game for 25 years? Nas, 26 years. Black Thought, 28 years. What's the line?
Let me jump in there real quick. Like you said, okay, the thing about it, and that's why I say, and I appreciate your shout out for my. I'm gonna put a T-shirt that says personal preference and sell that.
Right.
but for real, like when it comes to these the rules, who are we? Do we want to say that we come up with rules and we go by the rules, or do we make the rules as we go along? That's why I say with personal preference. I think with personal preference, you still have to say that. You still have to say me being a Nas stan. I still have to say that him and Favor for a Favor that he did with Scarface shine like a motherfucker. Nas to me seemed like he was reading off the paper. A lot of people say, "Oh, it was beautiful." Nas seemed like he was reading off the paper. When you talk about Nas and Jay-Z, Black Republican, Jay-Z shine like a motherfucker. On basically, Jay-Z has shined on most Nas collaborations. Do we say like, okay, we have a rule book? Do we make it up as we go along, or do we go by okay? My personal preference. Do we have a rule book? Is this? I mean, I think what hip hop is so young too. Like what's the rules? What's the rule?
I want to ask you a question, my man.
Yes, sir.
I love what you said just now when you talked about Jay-Z overshining Nas on Black Republican, and even on that corny ass joint they did on DJ Khaled.
Jay-Z killed that too. I ain't gonna lie, he killed that too.
What is the criteria to say that someone really killed someone on another album? Because I'm gonna reference something that probably no one will agree with me on. If you listen to Renegade, which was intentionally for Royce and Eminem, right? Originally,
good one. I love that.
And everyone says that Eminem shitted on Jay. Now I'm the complete opposite. I think Jay outshined Eminem on that record. But what puts someone that far ahead? And I can think of other records, because I would say Common outshined Black Thought on Love of My Life. Okay. I will say Big Pun outshined Black Thought on Super Lyrical. I have no problem saying that, but what makes those rules to say that someone outshine another one? Is it bars? Is it breath control? Because I'm a point of record, and none of you are going to agree with me on, but I want you to go back and review the tapes. Shadowboxing, Method Man and GZA. If you take lyrically, Method Man was saying nothing. GZA bars were way better. However, because of the delivery and the way it came off, Method shit was just beautiful. Just the way he sounded just made GZA look like he shouldn't have rhymed.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is y'all criteria to make that?
Well, Okay, well, as far as to answer your question when it comes to Black Republican and Nas and Jay-Z, to me personally, to take it back a little further, me personally, I believe that Jay-Z was more so in search of Nas to get on records than Nas was in search of Jay-Z to get on records. I believe that wholeheartedly. And when they got together on Black Republican, that was after the Ether, in which you can arguably say like Ether is a iconic diss record that stands the test of time for anything. But you can compare that to Takeover and the way that it was delivered. It was beautifully delivered by Jay-Z, but Nas just came with that shit. Okay, Black Republican, to me, Black Republican, when Jay-Z got on that record with Nas, he was like, yo, to me, he showed him like, yo, I've been wanting to rap with your ass, and now I'm gonna show you that I'm gonna get busy on this motherfucker, because Jay-Z went that and then Nas was like, back in the hood, they're like, hey Nas, blowing on purpose. It was really basic to me. It was
So
Jay-Z getting busy on a whole nother level on that song to me.
So let me ask y'all this, man, and as hip hop fanatics, do you think some MCs, and I don't know if this is the right word, dumb things down when they're with other MCs so they don't overshine them?
With Nas and Jay-Z on Black Republican, I don't think that Nas dumbed down. I think,
and that might not have been the word. That might not have been the right word.
No. I feel what you're saying. I believe that Jay-Z had been like waiting for that moment to get busy. Well, I will forever say that Jay-Z shined better on Black Republican. He shined better on Success. He shined better on what's that? Sorry Not Sorry. He shined. Bath Salts, Nas did his thing for me, but I don't think he dumbed down. Nas didn't dumb down. I think Jay-Z was the best thing for Nas, for him, for the second part of Nas coming, because Nas got lazy, man. Nas got lazy.
Yeah, no.
Nas got lazy. Nas got lazy.
Yeah, he was lazy.
Let me say this with that.
I got lazy. Very lazy.
Let me say this. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Who?
He's black, man, but he's black.
No, you got it, bro. Go ahead.
Black, you got some?
Okay. All right. Well, let me say this to answer that. That when you it's like this. When you start getting into those conversations, who killed who, that's completely purely subjective. You know what I mean? Because just like what Chuck just said, like he said that Pun shined on Black Thought on Super Lyrical, and I can see that. But it's like this: when you start getting to those top tier MCs, and a song here, a song there, it really come down to splitting hairs, because it really come down to what you like. Because I as an MC, I look at it like this: the only way you really gonna know until you get those guys in a cypher and you say, you spit 24 bars, you spit 24 bars, and we finna see who have the best. Usually one MC have more bars than the other. Prime example, like when Eminem used to rap with Slaughterhouse, right? When they used to do their little ciphers, they cipher was cold. I love them. But it was a little bit slated to be in favor of Eminem. Why? Because you have the other 4 or 5 guys, you had them rapping like maybe 30 or 40 bars. And then you have Eminem coming in last, rapping for 3 minutes straight. And everybody just thinking, oh, Eminem killed it. Oh, Eminem. Well, the thing is, did you actually listen to what Royce was saying? No, you didn't, because Eminem was rapping longer. So it really come down to that subjectivity as far as who killed who. That's more for me. That's more so opinion. I more so get with, okay, Jay-Z is not my favorite. However, when I'm making a greatest all-time list, he's top tier. He's in the top 5 because I'm looking at longevity. I'm looking at hits. I'm looking at, you know what I mean? I'm looking at a whole bunch of other things.
Delivery and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Hey, man, you said something about Royce. If y'all listen to it was a joint he did on Static Selector. And I don't know if y'all caught that when he was talking about Black Thought. Because if you listen to the joint Black Thought did with like Joey Badass and Ghostface, was it the Imperial and Black Thought's
It's the elephant in the room created by a collision of the sun and the moon. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then he spazzed on the other one, and Royce was like, y'all running around talking about Black Thought killed me. If you listen to, it was another joint on Static Selector by himself, and he talked about the very thing that y'all are talking about. Go back to T, like you used to always tell me, review the tapes. Go back to that record with Royce. It was on I think the 7 Black Static Selector had like the number 7 or whatever on it.
Yeah.
And Royce he talked about that.
I'm gonna have to go back and refresh.
Yeah.
Go back and do a refresher.
Hey brothers, I'm saying this so reluctantly because this shit is incredible to me to see us brothers talking this great hip hop shit. I got to get up at 1:30 in the morning for work, but damn, man, yeah. Hopefully,
man, appreciate you, bro.
Man, hopefully we can continue this on another session. Chuck, my first time meeting you, Chuck. I know about you, my man. You know, much love, bro. Black
love, King.
All y'all, bro, man. I love y'all, bro, and y'all stay safe. We're gonna do this. Hopefully, we do it before the new year, but Happy New Year if we don't do it before then, man. But we're gonna do this again, man. This was beautiful, man. Real talk. If I didn't have to get my ass up and go to work, I'm on here, man.
Hey, man, we can always build.
MRK, my man.
You going, bro? Son.
Yeah, man, we can always do this again, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you was a guest speaker on here. Man. You wasn't even supposed to be on here. I'm gonna bring my man.
Hey, but I'm part of y'all, bro. So I gotta be here, man. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, what's up, man? We gonna continue our conversation, man. But I got some more questions to ask these cats. But I appreciate you jumping in.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, dog.
Much love, man. Y'all be good, man. Stay safe.
You rest tight, man. You rest easy.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, man. Peace, King.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Oh man, this is
since everybody been talking about, you brought Eminem up twice. I brought him up twice, so I'm gonna bring him up right now. So I had a question for everything. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. Got my guns, got the bullets already. Hold up. Before I get into the next question, I got a shout my cousin. I'm wearing his apparel. You know what I'm saying? Right here. You know what I'm saying? Certified street music. My cousin Dez the bass. You know, my cousin go out there, get him out. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple tape. I'm the best. You know, so I taught him everything you know. So, you know, my cousin knows something. You know, I'm just telling you right now. Certified street music, Miami best. So I shot him out earlier, but I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing this joint for a reason. But anyway, next question.
He nice. Huh? I said he's nice. Nice.
Yeah, my cousin's nice with it. You know what I'm saying? He's nice with it. Shooting the video right now. The dude shot my last video. He's shooting this video right now. I met him that way. He's a friend of the cousin. So, you know what I mean? My cousin, Certified Street Music, is the label. And that's the label. And his name is Dez DiBiase. Dez DiBiase. Go check out Dez DiBiase. All right, anyway. So y'all brought up Eminem. Here's my question. You know what I'm saying? I got a question about it. Is he the rap god? Is he? You know what I'm saying? Is he the rap god? You know what I'm saying? He say he the rap god. Is he? Or is he not?
No. I think we more medieval when it comes to the gods, man. I don't think we do just
I'm just saying he threw it out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, where he stand. I know how you feel. I already know how you think, but I'm trying to get it from everybody else.
Well, it's like this, man. He's definitely one of them, man. It's like Look, it's like this, man. I'm an MC first. I know skill. I know skill. He's top tier in skills. Top tier, dog. When I say top tier, I'm talking about writing songs. I'm talking about also in the, like we face to face. He's top tier. Besides the point, I don't like his music. I don't like it. I just don't like it. But to answer your question, Pat, he's one of them. He's not the rap god, but he's definitely one of them. He's up there in Mount Olympus. He's up there with damn Zeus, Hades, Hermes, and all them. He's up there. I say that. He ain't Zeus, if that's what you want to know. He's not Zeus. He ain't Jupiter. You know what I mean? He's not the top god, but he's definitely one of them. And I say that objectively as a person that do not like him as the material he puts out.
I'm gonna say unequivocally no, and I say that, and I somewhat like Eminem because when I first heard Eminem when I was at Tyndall, I thought the record he did, My Name Is, was crazy. I thought that was crazy, and I thought the record he did with Bad versus Evil. I think because this must be me. At that point, I fell in love with Royce. With Bad. But
oh yes,
I reviewed the tapes, as T always tells me. If you listen to, and I know MRK's from Detroit, but if you listen to that, what's the record? The second record, Marshall Mathers. It took me a long time to give that the true chance it deserves. That is an incredible record. I won't lie. That is a good record. After that, like T says, his content throws you into me. Yeah. He's not whack. He can spit. When he goes off into other tangents, like when I heard him spit this joint with Busta Rhymes, I was like, this dude's nuts. He can rhyme. Can't take it away from him.
He's nasty, dog. He's nasty. He wanted.
I just can't get into him that deep. But that Marshall Mathers record is nuts. I will give him that. People don't want to give that man his flowers on that record. That record's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anyone else agrees or disagrees, and that's cool. But I love that record.
Speaking of Eminem, I listened to a joint. It's a Dr. Dre album. It's called Doctor's Orders. The level which in on that record, I was sheesh. It did this whole career.
Hey man, Eminem. If Eminem doesn't have your respect, he'll never get it.
Yep,
that's true. That's true.
There's nothing else he could possibly do, man. There's no other category he could improve in. Like it's over.
I agree. You summed it up succinctly, Mark. You summed it up succinctly.
But I like Eminem. So,
he definitely at the skill of rapping and writing raps. I believe he's one of the best to ever do it. I think history is going to be very kind to him.
Yeah,
he doesn't. When you're talking about careers, he's actually one of the biggest ever, but also the most understated. And here's what I mean: all he does is rap, dude. He do his music, he come out and he go back in his hole. You don't have to watch him in movies. He's not endorsing some product. He ain't pushing shit. He ain't doing too much. You know what I mean? The guy put out his music and he gets the fuck out of the way. Like, you have to respect that about the guy, man. You know, he do his little stuff, man, and he ain't got no vodka to sell you. He ain't got no, you know what I mean? Only thing he has tried to do was do things tied to music. You know, he got Shade 4-5. He tried to do the battle thing. You know what I mean? The one movie he did, it was like a battling movie. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy, he spends a lot of time trying to make sure we like him, you know. We all still don't like him, you know. So it's like-
Eminem, hold on. I'm gonna give you something about Eminem. And then I'm gonna go to Detroit. Eminem gave y'all something that you gonna respect. Griselda.
Well, I mean, he came on the bandwagon after the fact, yeah, for sure. He tried
Yeah,
he
but
shot. He wanted to inject some of his own juice into it. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, man, Shady Records only ever had 2 successful artists. As far as you can count D12, but really, man, Obi Trice and 50 Cent really was the only successes off the label, man. It really wasn't. Everything else was something he just tried, you know, and it didn't really stick, you know. So they don't really have the greatest track record over there at Shady Records, man. You know, they but he did give it a shot. You know what I mean? I got to give it to him. He did give it a shot. He tried to step in and help Griselda get to a higher place. I can't even say if it worked or not, you know, but he did give it a shot.
So with that being said, see what I was gonna do. I was gonna go back to some D-Town stuff on you, but I'm gonna mix it in a minute. But I'm gonna ask this question since we talking about Griselda. I'm gonna come back on the D with you again. So with Griselda, why y'all feel has been so successful during this age of mumble rap? Because they ain't doing no mumble rap. So why they so successful?
Who, Griselda?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll let somebody else start.
I'm trying to charge up my pods real quick, so let them joints charge up. I'm definitely gonna talk about Griselda because I love Benny the Butcher and Conway.
I'm asking. I'm like
that squeaky voice
asking.
Negro.
I'm gonna go another route in a minute, but I'm asking y'all why y'all think because I like them. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. I'm on them. You know what I'm saying? I like the dude. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? The head dude, man. I don't really care.
Westside Gun.
That much. I don't really care for Westside. His voice is like doggone, you know, like Eminem. Well, I like Eminem, but his voice is annoying too. Westside Gun let the Eminem annoyingness into 10th, 20th, 30th power. You know what I'm saying? But it worked. Whatever you want to say about it, it worked. My question is, why they successful when everybody else around them ain't doing nothing like that? Everybody else is doing the mumble rap.
Let me answer that, Pat. Let me answer that. Let me try to answer that as best as I can. Mark, an MC. I'm an MC. Pat, an MC. And it's safe to say that each one of us has been doing it for more than 20 years, right? Sure. So you got 60 years of lyrical MC songwriting experience on this podcast. Now, what we all learned is this. Quote unquote success. When I say success, I'm talking about you actually blowing up, you become a household name at the very least at a regional level, right? At a regional level or perhaps a national level. So that's when I'm talking about success. When you get to a point where you can take care of yourself and family with just that, that's what I mean by success. And I think that Griselda has attained that. My thing is this. In hip hop is not an exact science. And what I mean by that is this. If you can exact out exactly what Griselda did, the number of hours they was in a lab or whatever they did, if you can formulate that and took that exact formula and put it with another MC, that doesn't mean they're gonna have the same success. It's not like physics or mathematics. The mass on Earth is the same as the mass on the moon. It's not an exact science like that. They just hit, you know what I mean? It's that X factor. It's that some people on the spiritual realm, they would say the God bless, and some people would say luck, some people would say whatever. But when it comes to success, man, on that level, I think it's just a certain X factor. You can just get in there at the right time, right space, right thing, and get your niche. But someone else can come and do the exact same thing you doing, or someone else can come along. There are MCs out there that put in more work, hours, songs than Griselda, and they don't have the success they have. You know what I mean? So I think when it comes to success, I think that your work ethic plays a big deal, a big deal. It also plays a role in who you know, and it also plays in a role of timing and luck. You know what I mean? You can be the coldest MC. You can be the coldest MC. Prime example of that is Eminem, right? Eminem was second in that rap battle back in the late 90s. There was an MC from Chicago that beat him. But guess what? Eminem's success, it wasn't about who was the best rapper at the time. It had a lot to do with the timing. It had a lot to do with who Eminem knew. It had a lot to do with the market. It has a lot to do with the unknown factors, man. I'm like this. Any MC that comes in and do it, it's like my hat's off. I love it. But I understand and know it's not always based on hard work. There's other elements involved there's other intangibles involved that depicts whether or not you're going to be successful, not on a regional at the least, or if not a national or international level. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me put Chuck back there. Chuck jumped out. Let me get him back in real quick.
I think he sent the message saying he was gone. Oh, there you go.
No, here you go. No, here. No, you know what I'm saying? It might have been Blacks in the message.
Oh, okay. That probably was Black.
Yeah, Black jumped out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I mean, I like them. I just that's my thoughts about them. I don't know if anybody else got some other thoughts about them. I think that they did something unique. I thought back in the days, you would think about just making a beat without a sample and rap off it without a beat. I would want to do that back in the days when I was first learning how to sample and stuff like that. But I was like, damn, if I do this, it might be too much for people to take. Man, they just took that whole process and that whole outlook and said, I'm gonna throw that out the window. I'm just gonna jump in and make this thing happen.
Well, art direction is a gift as much as being an MC.
Yo, this thing tripping.
As much as being an MC and writing a good song is important, so is art direction. What it looks like. Can you make it look like what the music sound like? This is a skill, and most of us don't have it. You know, I'm talking about artists that spend a great amount of time, you know what I mean, writing raps. Some people have it in a vacuum, like in a very small amount of time, and it works. Like, for instance, the RZA, like he had this idea, right? And he envisioned it and the art direction that would go along with it, and it stuck, right? Like, it worked. He was a genius at that. Like, he took a bunch of street niggas and gave them personas. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not somebody else who was really good at this is Eazy-E. Eazy-E was really awesome at art direction. He knew how to take those guys and make them look like the music, you know. Same thing with Westside Gunn. You know, he had a vision. He had this idea about how these things should be laid out visually. And just like those people I said, well, I don't know so much about RZA, but typically it takes a lot of money, right? Street money, a lot of dope money involved in pushing a product out, right? Pushing the product out, because a lot of times it's not whether it's good or bad. It's how much can you make sure people see this thing, right? Like how much can they see it? And if they continually see it, and if it actually is something interesting to look at, it will probably catch on. You know what I'm saying? You know, at some point, and I honestly think that Griselda is part talent in the musical part, and also in the visual part of it, which is Westside Gunn's area. Westside Gunn was responsible for coming up with the visual, and the X factor in all of it is Conway's face, right? Like, because it's so disruptive. Look at like most things are not disruptive to look at. Like, we're pretty used to looking at things. Even when they're good, they're not necessarily extraordinary. They don't necessarily stand out. But half of his face is hanging down, and you never forget that, right? Like you can't remember how, you know what I mean? Like you can't count on more than a couple of fingers, maybe, if you've ever seen anybody with Bell's palsy rap, right? And if you did see somebody with Bell's palsy rap, he didn't rap that good, and he wasn't gangster, and he wasn't also who also had. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Conway's
All smart.
Conway's
all-
face is what sold that shit, because they were doing it way before he got shot, and it wasn't working. You know what I mean? But when these guys got shot, you understand, and they started showing that and putting that out there, the fact that it was good and the style was good and the music was good was second, but it was also a reason to keep watching, right? So that's my take on it.
That's a good. I never thought about that aspect, Mark. That's a good thought out take. You know what I mean? With, you know what I mean, a good formulated. I wouldn't say exact formula, but that's a good. I like that. That's sound.
I like it.
It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about that, but I see where you're coming from. And now you think about it, that is exactly kind of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because I like it. I mean, I was, you know, it just hit you like these guys are able to do something. And the people that's going to, these cats is young. They around the same age as Kodak Black, all these other cats. You know what I mean? But people of our age is gravitating. I guess who else has that kind of sting.
Their age. He's the youngest. He's 37.
Who?
I said, if you talk about Griselda's all our age. The youngest is Benny. He's like 37.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Benny's
They almost
yeah,
40.
they all around our age, bro. Like all of them.
Hey, I'm thinking them cats young. I'm like, man, so the youngest one is Benny the Butcher.
Benny's like 35, 36.
I figured they was around. I figured they was around our age, just how they move. It's like, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. They wasn't moving. I did not think they was moving like millennial rappers. And it's nothing against millennial rappers, but it's just like, it's just something hit you when you hear Nas or Jay-Z, Busta, Thought, Biggie, Tupac. It's just something. It's a different hit. And when I first heard them, I felt that hit. I would have never thought. I thought they was our age. Like what Mark said, I never knew for sure, but I thought they was our age. You know what I mean?
So yeah, Benny's the youngest. Benny's the little brother, but he's in his mid-30s.
Okay.
So here's what's crazy, man, because my phone was tripping. Talking about young rappers. What y'all think of Corday?
I love Corday.
I like Corday. I like him. I think Conscious Rhyme is better than Corday, but I like Corday.
I like Corday. So
I mean, he's dope. I like what he stands for, especially in his age group. Yeah.
So I got another question there. So now we talking about that, because I got a question for everything since y'all bringing stuff like that up. Does today's young rappers all sound alike?
No. There's pockets.
No.
There's pockets. You know what I mean? You know, it's really on who you pay. If you look at an artist and everybody around that artist, yeah, they probably all gonna sound about the same. But if you just kind of look to the left, like it's a whole new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah. It's just like that's a good analogy, Mark, when you said pockets, because you can, you know what I mean, like a guy, he's dead, but I like Pop Smoke, right? I just liked his favor. I liked his style, what he did. Now, would I put him on top MC list? No. But I love what he was doing, how he was doing, you know what I mean, what he was doing for Brooklyn. But I also like another rapper that just got killed. His name was Mo3, right?
Mo3
two totally different rappers.
Chuck say nah.
Mo3
rappers, but I'm just saying,
Mo3 from Dallas.
You know what I mean? I liked him. You know, and Mo3, I like what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's not in the pantheon talk of who we talk about or who we are wrong, but I was rocking with them.
You enjoyed him.
You know what I mean? Yep.
Yeah,
I think
and that there's room for that, right? Because the top is the top for a reason, right? Like it's only
Right.
so much room up there, man. That's rare air. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
And it take a while. It take a while for you to start to become even noticed for these types of conversations, right?
Yep.
Like
Decade.
like Kendrick is like, and like whatever album he's about to drop, if it's on par with everything else, I think it's time to put him in the conversation. That's me. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
You know,
I agree. I agree. I agree. I put an asterisk. I put an asterisk by his name. And the only reason I say that, it don't have nothing to do with his skill. It has nothing to do with his work. It's just a matter of longevity. For me, when I start, when I put those rappers in that top conversation, to me, they have to have 20 years.
Mac, say what's up.
They have to have 20
I don't
years.
know why my camera's not working.
So for me, when Kendrick gets to that 20-year mark from when he first made his professional album, whatever that was, some people say it was this, some people say it's Good Kid, Mad City, whatever it is, it's 20 years from that date, because I have to be objective when I put him in the category of a Nas, of an Eminem, of a Biggie, of a Black Thought, of a Busta Rhymes, or whoever, because it's just like you said, Mark. But I'm gonna tell you this: for Kendrick Lamar, it's more so longevity. It has nothing to do with skill.
Well, I think hip hop's been around long enough for us to create generational goats, right? Like,
yes,
like man, you got your 20-year tier, your 10-year tier.
I agree with that.
You've been liking for the last 5. Like I think it's been around long enough, right? Like we could do that.
I agree with that.
Even if artists have passed away, like I think they should be in their own tier as well, right? Like because then like Big Pun will get overlooked, and he shouldn't get overlooked, right? Like you know what I mean. So Big L and people like that who, while they were here, were absolutely going for it. You know what I mean? And that's why we got to kind of put them in their own category. I think so. Like you know what I mean.
I want to say what
Mark, look down there, Mac, your boy Mac was like, you know what I'm saying? He talking about 20 years from the first studio album,
first professional album, professional.
I want to say
whatever that professional album was, because the only reason why I say that is because we got to look at who we comparing them to. We comparing them to Nas, Jay-Z, Black Thought, Buster. We comparing it. We throwing them in Rakim. We throwing them in that era. But I agree with Mark said. Generational, because if you say post 2000, Kendrick Lamar is in there.
Yeah,
Kendrick Lamar is in there. When you say from 2000s on up to now, Kendrick Lamar is in there.
I think you can have been out so long ago that we need a category for you too. Like I feel like artists like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, and I think they should be in more of a pioneers category, right? Because it's not fair almost to because the styles have evolved so much since then. It's like comparing styles. They're supposed to get better. They're supposed to get more intricate.
Exactly.
They're supposed to get. You understand what I'm saying? So to compare, Royce da 5'9" with Slick Rick is not fair.
Right. I agree.
Like it's like we want to nostalgia is going to choose Slick Rick. You know what I mean? Right. But if we're talking the art of who's going to sit down and write a better rap, you know what I mean? It's like I just feel like it's so hip hop is so old now that we really as sort of the more elder statesmen in it now. Like I feel like we got to push for deeper thought when it comes to categories. Like we got to start, when people start asking us who is our favorite, we got to start saying, well, I got tiers, dog. I got 5, 10 to 20-year tiers. I also got a passed away tier and a pioneer tier. Like what we talking here? Because I don't really like to intermingle them, because LL Cool J was just as great as Drake is right now at a time, right? But do we compare them? even though LL sort of fathered a lot of what Drake does, like nobody that would say, you know what I mean? Nobody born in the last 25 years is gonna give that to LL. Nobody's gonna say, oh,
I agree with that, Mark. A pioneer tier. I like that. I
You
think
see, y'all see what Max said? What Max said down there? The answer.
what'd he say?
He say,
I see what he's saying. Yeah, where he has not now in his career based on what others were at that time in the career. So however many years he's been out, if you could look at another artist and say at that particular time when he was out, had he dropped as many, you know what I mean? If you consider classic albums, you know what I mean, by K-Dot, I think he's on a 3 album tear right now. I don't have anybody with more than a 3 album classic run in a row. I got artists that have more than 3 classics albums, but I'm saying in a row.
Yeah.
That's why I said this album for him is very important, because this one, if this one winds up being classic, we got to look at him different, in my opinion. You know what I mean? We got to look at him different, man, because in my opinion, that means he's the first one to ever do that, to ever actually deliver 4 classic albums in a row in hip hop.
So
never seen it.
let me ask y'all this. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my questions. Let me ask y'all this: Why you think it take Kendrick Lamar longer, put out music? He put out less music than J. Cole. Why you think?
Oh man, I missed some of this question, but I can y'all see me, man? This thing tricky.
No,
I hear you good, man. You know what I'm saying? What I said was, I say why is Kendrick Lamar music out less than J. Cole? Why it take him longer to put out more music than J. Cole? You know what I'm saying? And I guess if you look at him, you know what I'm saying, who is the more prolific of the two?
Oh, I love to answer this one. Let me tell you something about this. First and foremost, with J. Cole is he owns more of his stuff. I think he owns more, so it's easier for him to be more out there than being with Kendrick. Kendrick's under Top Dog or whatever. And J. Cole's Dreamville, I know he's down with Jay-Z, but he kind of runs his own show. Kendrick, to me, is the better artist. It's not close. It's my personal opinion. I like Cole,
debate that?
But I think Kendrick is 10 times better than Cole. I think from a lyrical standpoint, Cole can hold his own, but I think Kendrick sonically makes better music. It takes longer because I think he has better people around him. I don't know if that makes sense. He has more of that vibe.
I think he comes out of the Dr. Dre school of overthinking when it comes to music, bro. Like I think that that's what's taking Kendrick so long. I'd put my money on Kendrick probably made a few albums over the past few years, and probably has trashed them all and started over. Like that's the kind of shit that they do, over there. They it's a mood, man. It's a vibe. The word he might have had an album he was getting ready to drop right before COVID, and then COVID hit, and it made no sense to drop that album. You know what I mean? Like he's that much of an artist where he'll, you know what I mean? Like, well, he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna go a different direction with it, and he can afford to do it, right? Like time for us ain't the same thing as time for him. He ain't as plugged in probably to the day-to-day shit like we are. He gets to actually live the life we all want to live as artists. We want to do our shit and go be with our families. You know what I mean? And still have a public that's waiting with bated breath for us to come back and do whatever we do whenever we feel like doing it. It's like Maxwell and the D'Angelo and the Sade life, right? Like it's that. You know what I'm saying? Like I do my shit and I go back to the mountaintop. You know what I mean? Live some life, and then it's been 10 years. I didn't know. You know what I mean? It's kind of shit.
Yeah, Max said he agreed. He said you got a good point, Mark.
I appreciate you, bro.
What's crazy about Kendrick? You know what I found about Kendrick? If you listen to all his albums, I think Mark makes a very good point about, scrapping things and doing all that. If you take Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, and what was the joint after that with the To Pimp a Butterfly?
Yeah.
And then the one with
Damn.
If you notice, I think only Outkast has done something like him.
As extreme.
Yes. Yeah, you get where I'm going.
And I got them at. I actually have them at one of the top 3 album runs of all time too. You know what I'm saying? Mac mentioned he mentioned Kanye. If you
there you go. I'm gonna put it back up there.
The only reason why I didn't say Ye had the 4 is because of how debatable 808s and Heartbreaks is. A lot of people debate now the impact, yes, but a lot of people debate whether or not it was classic. You know what I mean? I could say Ye had the 4, but that's the only reason why I didn't say Ye had the 4 album run is just because of how debatable 808 and
about Tribe
is. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing.
You think Tribe had a 4 album run?
Who?
No,
Tribe.
He said classic 4 album run.
Yeah, classic. Boom, 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 boom.
So you think Tribe had a classic 4 album run?
No, not 4 classic albums. I said a run, like a run. I don't think they. I think it's consecutive. I
don't think they had nothing consecutive.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Tribe had 4 consecutive.
That's rare air, bro. Like if it's debatables in there, it's hard.
Now, Tribe. Hold up now.
Yeah.
Hold up, Tribe. Tribe had 2 albums on first try to be certified 5 mics when 5 mics meant something.
For sure.
They did. So, but I could see what you're saying. I could see what you're saying about 4 consecutive. Now, with that being said, now, whether we know it or not, there was an MC who did it.
Who was that?
Rakim, because The Source came out in 88. So what they did, they re-rated the first 3 albums as classics, along with when Let the Rhythm Hit came out in 1990. They got 5 mics. They got 5 mics off the rip, but they went back. They gave Paid in Full 5 mics. They gave the second one, Follow Leader 5 mics.
Let the Rhythm hit him.
Let the Rhythm, but you know what, Mark? You're right. It was only 3. The 4th one.
It wasn't 4. I don't know, man. Had 4.
You're right, Mark. You're right.
Matt got a question down there. Matt asked us a question down there.
That 4th album was in classic. You're right. That 4th album.
Yeah. You see Matt question down there? He say, have y'all had projects y'all put to the side to marinate a bit more before putting out?
Personal albums? I got 2 sitting to the side right now.
Yeah, say personal.
Yeah. I'm talking about like me working on my music, or you saying listening to other people's music? Oh, because if you talk about my own personal music, I take way more time on my music now than I used to. But in terms of albums, if you ask it like albums that I listen to marinate on for a while, absolutely. Sometimes I have to listen when it comes to a rap album. I have to listen to it, and then I gotta wait to go back to it because it was a lot when I heard it the first time. You know what I'm saying?
He said personal work.
Oh, he said personal work. Oh yeah. Definitely.
So for me, I'm gonna tell you. So for me and we on our second Purgatory album, the 3rd. You know what I'm saying? We did the first Purgatory album back in 2003. I had a whole nother Purgatory album, beats and everything made. we had a disagreement, and then that I gave all them beats away. Now we on the 3rd Purgatory album, sitting back. I got beats, all stuff completed. We got by a couple of doggone songs already done. I ain't never put them out. I ain't never put them on none of my stuff. They just sitting there. So yeah, had to let it marinate. He's like, new Purgatory? Yes, we have new Purgatory music.
Yeah.
Yes, me and this cat notorious for that. We sit around. I had the beats already done. Beats be dope. I got cold. I think some of the hardest beats I ever made sitting around just waiting on Purgatory to drop.
I think that this is my opinion. I think that MCs, any MC or artist worth their salt, I think they all do that because it's like, you know what I mean, with MCs, with us, there's a person, it's like what I've known with MCs, man, when I say MCs, I'm talking about cats. I'm talking about not rappers, I'm talking about cats that I respect lyrically. I noticed that they all have one thing in common. They're competitive. They want they want to put out the best material. They want to put out the best material. So with that being said, when you listening to what's coming out, you might listen to it. You might think the song was fire, but then you might hear somebody come out with something. You like, oh man, dog, I gotta go back to the lab with this. You know what I mean? There's been many times where I listened to a couple MCs in my life that signed. Like, there's been many times where I listened to when Cannabis had its run in the 90s, the late 90s. Of course, Rakim, of course, Black Thought, of course, Nas, of course, Andre 3000, of course. Those top tier rarefied air MCs, when I hear them say things, it's like, there's been a time when I heard Black Thought rap, he inspired me and made me want to quit at the same time. Like, I'm like, damn, I want to go write something. But when I heard him do that freestyle, he made me want to write something, made me want to quit at the same time, because I used to always champion myself as the MC that write a long rhyme. But when he did what he did, it was like, man, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I just came to grips and said, I can't do it. You know what I mean? It wasn't the fact that I didn't want to do it. I can't do it. So yeah, just like what Mark said, man, you got stuff to the side where you might have to decide and you might go back and make something different. I think we all do that, man.
I'm telling you, this cat here.
Listening to the song 6 months ago and saying, now I can say that better. Like, there's nothing like I love doing it, going back in and changing line and making it tighter. You know, I it's like aging it, aging it.
Right.
I listen to it and I'm like, oh, now I could put that. I know I could put that better. You know, I've grown as an artist just since then. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's very satisfying to know when I let something go that you know, I did all I could for it.
With that being said, is there, you know, I'm gonna piggyback. I think the other side of the question, has there ever been, let's say, an album that you got the first time and you set it to the side and dined on it later because you had to take the time to digest it?
Yeah.
Somebody else's music? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I did that with Soul Food. I had to sit back and take Soul Food in. And man, that Soul Food got me through my tech school, man. I mean, if it wasn't for Soul Food, I wouldn't have made it. That got me through everything I was going through in tech school, man. I heard it, you know, but it just did something for me, man. I learned every single word on Soul Food.
Let me talk about that record in particular. That record, when I first heard it, it was cool, like you hear everything else, you know. Goody Mob, everyone was on CeeLo. But I want to say about a year or so ago, and that album came out in 1995, by the way.
Yep.
I really took the time to listen to Soul Food again 25, 26 years later. That's when you know it's a classic, put together. Everything they talked about, if you're from the South, and granted, my man from Virginia said we all universal, but if you're from the South in particular, and you listen to that record, it resonates with you. And that's the only record from Goody Mob I really like that. And not that Goody Mob's not skilled. I think Goody Mob is very skilled. But that record is like, I put that up there with the, I'm not gonna say quite the Illmatics or the Reasonable Doubts, but it's in the stratosphere with that.
Yeah.
It's in the stratosphere with that.
Hey, when I was coming up, we didn't have that. All we had was Luke. And you know, I was lucky to get some from New York to come down. You know, first time I heard Rakim, but up until then, I mean, we really didn't have too much of nothing. And then when I heard these dudes, I'm like, you know what? It's possible. It's really possible. I wasn't, you know, 8 Ball, MJG, all them cats. Yeah, I just felt like, because I'm from Florida, Georgia was right there. That it's accessible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's accessible because these cats did something that I'm like, damn, these dudes talking about Vogues. You know, Vogue ties on the car, you know what I mean? I'm like, only person knew about that kind of stuff, you know, from Florida, Georgia cats. So for me, that's why it was really deep for me. But like I say, that was on another level. Outkast was on one level, but it was just on something a little deeper for me, man. Because I just considered myself always a deeper MC when I was coming up, man. And piggyback on what y'all was saying earlier about people dumbing down music and whatever. It was a time where I could tell you, I had to sit down and say, man, I think I'm gonna dumb down some stuff because on our first album, man, I was saying all kind of stuff, and I had this. I was like, man, if people wasn't getting it, I was talking about stuff. He was getting it. I was like, man, you straight. I was like, nah, man. We would go to the studio. Matter of fact, we had a studio session with these cats called what they call it was called Castaways. We in there with them, and they listened to me and Op, and they was just all on Op, and they wasn't on what I was saying. And I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if it wasn't for him, I would have just like, man, I'm, and I think on my last album I did a lot of dumbing down. Because I was like, man, maybe I could do something a little dumbing down so somebody, saying, I just felt like that. But he was always reassuring that, look, don't dumb nothing down. Just be you. Say what you're going to say. Do what you're going to do.
That's great advice, bro. I think that's great advice. And I think we all do ourselves a disservice to the world when we do that. The fact that this isn't your audience doesn't mean you don't have an audience. It just ain't that. You know what I mean? You understand it. He understood it. That's two people that understand it. So that's 2 million other people out there that's gonna understand it too. That's gonna tap into that. That's gonna tap into that wavelength. We all know when we hear an artist, whether it be a singer or rapper, whoever, that really gets this shit. Like we hear them, but then when we feel them, it's like it's two different things. They don't even have to be super lyrical for us to feel them. We just feel them. We know exactly where they're coming from. We know exactly where they're coming from, and we buy in. You know what I mean? And it's because of that little way that they do it, that don't nobody else do it, is what make it special. And it's like you was actually talking yourself out of what made conscious rhyme. Like you was talking yourself out of it. You saying, and your homeboy was telling you like, nah, you good. He was assuring you, nah.
I want to ask that question
because all that's going to do is develop, evolve into a more well thought out way that you do. You can master that.
Y'all sound kind of crazy. You sound funny to y'all.
Yeah. I hear more fun, but I want to ask him this question. Well, actually, all y'all.
Okay.
Because you said something, and I want to ask you this question. All right. When you talk about a feeling in rap, not necessarily